Jordan Wood, even Jaden Donovan inside to deal with Oregon's size.
Kara Lawson really praising Delaney Thomas, a sophomore, for her performance in the win against Lehigh on Friday. Let's tip it off. Second round action getting underway from Durham, North Carolina, Cameron Indoor Stadium. The boos rained down on Deja Kelly, the former North Carolina Tar Heel, when her name was announced in the starting lineup for the Ducks. And inside they go. Philly Che, the 6'8 senior center, dishing it off on the first possession. But Amina Mohammed unable to finish. Looking at tonight's starting lineup, brought to you by Capital One, or today I should say. It's an early one, especially for Oregon. Same starting five that the Blue Devils have had all season long. One of 3 teams in the tournament who can make that claim. Tiana Mayer, point guard for the Blue Devils, 7 on the shot clock now. Ashlon Jackson, one of the greatest leaders for this team. Donovan, back to Mayer for 3 at the shot clock buzzer. And Reigan Richardson, playing in her final game at Cameron Indoor Stadium, picks up the offensive rebound.
Rebounding is going to be so important in this game for Duke. Without Toby Fournier, the guards are going to have to step up. Reigan Richardson did just that.
In case you're wondering, Fournier has come off the bench all season long for the Blue Devils, but that will not be the case today. There is Delaney Thomas, the player that you mentioned, starting 5 for the Oregon Ducks. We talked about Deja Kelly. Philly Che inside, second tallest player in this tournament at 6'8". Peyton Scott, though, keep an eye on her, the heart and soul of this Oregon team. Nani Falatea had a huge game against Vanderbilt, and then Amina Mohammed missed that first shot as Deja Kelly says hello to the Cameron Crazies.
Knowing Deja Kelly, having covered her for 4 years at North Carolina, she loves the boos. The boos are getting her going here in Cameron.
Kelly Graves back here hoping to make a little more magic with his Oregon Ducks as a 10 seed. That's what he's been talking about since they got here to Durham earlier in the week. So far, so good, on the same trajectory as that 2017 team that really put Oregon women's basketball on the map, according to Kelly Graves. Good look inside for Kelly to Che, who is fouled. Kelly Graves just praising his counterpart on the other side for Duke, Kara Lawson, in her 5th season, doing a tremendous job with still a relatively young Blue Devil team, ACC tournament champions this year, and riding a win streak here into the postseason.
And Jordan Wood already off the bench for Duke. That would have normally been Toby Fournier, but now it's number 13, the sophomore.
Che on the free throw line. Need to see increased minutes today with no Fournier available.
And especially, Jen, having to deal with Philly Che, 6'8" inside. She is a lot to handle for any team, especially a team missing one of their best front court players.
And will she exert herself? We've seen the potential for Philly Che to do that in her career, but has had quieter numbers.
Kelly Graves talking to us at practice said, we're going to play some zone. We want it to be a compact, tight zone, but the big key for Oregon out of the zone is they have to rebound.
Duke coming off a performance where they absolutely dismantled the Patriot League champions Lehigh, winning that game 86-25 as Deja Kelly starting out hot.
Deja Kelly said hand down, man down.
Gonna get a foul on the screen. And she's had back-to-back 20-point games in this building now, if you include Friday night's performance. Not against Duke, against Lehigh, as Che. Look, that's not going to be stopped. The Duke crowd asking for some offense as Oregon making some noise with the defense. Watching basketball games with Peyton, she said that is where all of her memories watching basketball started, with a Coke float and some popcorn with Paps, watching the Duke Blue Devils play. He had never seen a game here.
This is what we love about March. What a great story. And Peyton Scott was phenomenal for Oregon.
So when you watch number 10 in green, you know this matchup, this floor, it all holds a little extra meaning for her, playing in her first ever NCAA tournament as a grad student this year for Oregon.
That's 2 straight turnovers for Oregon. It felt like things were a bit too easy for Oregon in the first 5 minutes.
Agreed. Duke led the ACC this year, forcing 20.5 turnovers per game. They forced 30 in the first round on Friday night against Lehigh. Okanawa has been so hot down the stretch for this Duke team, and Jordan Wood steal as Richardson gets her hands to the basketball and turns it into 2. But the Ducks need some points. Not going to get it on this possession. It's another turnover. Scoring drought of nearly 5 minutes for the Ducks. Okanawa. Thomas had to regain control after the pass rolled up on her a little bit. Under a minute to play in the first quarter, knotted up at 7. It is a defensive, grinded out type of game so far. And there's a takeaway for the Ducks. Sophia Bell off the bench, lets the 3 go! And she took it. 3-point advantage for the moment. Thomas!
6 turnovers for Oregon in the final 6 minutes of this quarter.
Both teams would say their identity begins with their defense. But they're going to have to bring some offense too, and that is money in the bank. 5 points for Che, and it is the 10th-seeded Oregon Ducks with a 3-point advantage after 1. Has certainly reaped the benefits.
She's been a problem for Duke so far. Duke does not have the bigs to match up with her at this moment. Duke putting Jaden Donovan back in, taking a turn on Philly Che.
And Jaden Donovan, such a tremendous leader for this Duke defense, trying to defend Che here, does enough. Che, though, gets her own rebound, puts it back out for the 3-ball, which is an air ball.
We said it was about defense. I'm not sure we expected this. 12-9 in the first quarter. It is an early start for both teams. Technically 9 a.m. Pacific for Oregon, even though they've been out here for quite a few days.
Deja Kelly. What a moment there. And then she gets one better.
And I love the emotion from Deja Kelly back here playing on Tobacco Road. She would love nothing more than to lead Oregon to one of the, if not the biggest upset in this year's tournament so far.
And set up potentially, not that she's looking forward, but look, we all saw it when the bracket came out. A potential Duke, North Carolina. 7 points in the game for Richardson. Still a 3-point lead for the Ducks. One of 2 double-digit seeds still alive in this NCAA women's tournament as Deja Kelly just continues to do her thing. Thomas tried to go up and over Che. Okanawa unafraid, the ACC tournament MVP. Now a shot from the corner for there, and that's back-to-back triples for the Blue Devils. Which is about 30% from 3, but they were 8 of 16. Falatea had 4 of those. 5 on the shot clock now. Scott, does she see it? Does. Gets the shot off and hits it! 3 losses by a host team are the most since 2014 of any team.
2 years ago, they hosted as a 3 seed. They lost to Colorado in the second round. Of course, we know what happened in 2017 with Oregon.
Impeccable record in the first round, 27-0 for Duke, but as we just mentioned, it's been more of a struggle in recent years, over the last decade, in this second round to get through. And you do wonder too, Kelly, how much they're missing Toby Fournier. It's a very balanced Duke team, but she brings something special, as does Falatea,
to help guard 6'8" Philly Che.
Notable Che on the bench at the moment as we come back from the break. Oregon shooting 50% in the game against this Duke defense and had to withstand that incredible run from Vanderbilt to come back in the game. Delaney Thomas way off. Ari Long in the game for Oregon. Ducks have made their last 4 from the floor. Mina Muhammad back to Scott now. Falatea keeping it in her hands. A little spin, if you will, and then gets some help on the offensive glass from Muhammad. Che on the bench. Rambis at 6'3". And the lead continues to grow. Biggest of the game at 9. Back to 7 after that drive from Richardson, who is playing like it's her last game in Cameron. It's her last 5, but no points yet in this one for Okanawa.
They need that scoring punch from her. And there's Aluchi Okanawa using her defense, turning it into offense.
Stealing with Lucci, getting this Duke defense going. Che just keeps her fingertips on it. Out to Scott for the three.
At this point, I think it's a win for Duke. Anytime Che passes the ball out, Oregon right now, they're 2 for 7 from three. That's a win because Philly Che, with the bigs that Duke has right now, she should be able to go in there and score whenever she wants. So if they can force her to pass it, that's a win for the Blue Devils.
She has 5 points, 2 of 4 from the floor in this game so far. Here comes Okanawa. Defense at the moment
So
hanging
quick
with her, but it is hard. Inching up on 3 minutes without a score, and Duke has brought it within 3. Scott, the heart and soul of this Oregon Duck team, gets a bucket when her team needs it.
She has hit 2 tough jumpers on the right side of the floor. I mean, the level of difficulty on that shot. Wow.
Has gone her entire career without the opportunity to play in an NCAA tournament. Spent 4 years at Miami, Ohio. Peyton Scott transferred to Oregon last year, picked up a season-ending injury in the first game of the season, and yet still such an incredible presence on this team, now making the most of her first experience with March Madness. Duke has never led in this game. The Ducks bringing it in the first half as the 10 seed. An impressive first half performance on both ends of the floor. A defensive battle for sure in the first quarter, and then Oregon continuing to be efficient offensively, still at 50% from the floor against a Duke team that usually bedevils its opponents defensively. Wood, big basket for Duke. She's got 5, but the lead is 5 for the 10th seeded Ducks. So from one deja vu to another, perhaps, as former Tar Heel Deja Kelly doing it in the first half for Oregon against Duke.
Deja was great. Even with the 2 fouls late in the second quarter, she led the way for Oregon offensively. I know the message for Duke in halftime was all about defense. If they can get their defense locked in, the offense will come, but they've got to be better on Deja Kelly.
Oregon shooting 50% in the first half.
Either they hedge more with the big on Deja Kelly, or that guard, whoever is guarding Deja, has to get over that screen and get up into Deja and make her more uncomfortable.
Ashlon Jackson scoreless in the first half, draining the 3. 22 points as Duke won the ACC championship, besting NC State in the final. Had 8 points in the first round, Ashlon, on Friday night against Lehigh. All of those, by the way, coming in the second half. Here's Deja Kelly, 2 to shoot, does get it off, but certainly contested. Lucia Okanawa right there in her face. Jackson, have another! Muhammad. Ducks a little cold to start this third quarter.
Big pick up there for Okanawa to get that early second foul as she's trying to box out Che, and I'm not sure where the foul was in that situation.
Jaden Donovan speeding down the floor. The sophomore all defensive team selection for the Blue Devils this year. Jackson feeling it from deep to start quarter number 3. Put Duke in the lead. Hey, she can take it.
Jackson had not done much. And whether her coaching staff challenged her or she just said, look, I got to step up for my team. We don't want to go home. Well, they're at home. We don't want to stop playing.
10-0 Blue Devil run and an offensive foul as on the men's side. They're tipping off a little later this afternoon, so there may be some Duke fans doing the double like they did on Friday. Getting to see both teams. Backdoor cut. Richardson had it in her hands. Jackson left open. Good night. The presence of 6'8" Philly Che being felt on that last possession. Can she bring it on this offensive end? Maybe get Deja Kelly going. They do go inside to Che, and Duke coming in.
Not only is that a third foul on Lucia Okanawa, she had the perfect opportunity to take a charge.
She saw her take a charge on Friday. I don't know if that was the moment, Kelly, but she's on the bench. And Che on the line, but misses the first. Che, just a 61% free throw shooter on the season, does get the second. She's 2 of 4 in this game. Now 6 points as that ends off the glass and in.
So might as well do everything you can to not let her catch it.
I mean, they put her in jail
And that's a much better adjustment, too, from previously, the high hedge from Thomas.
Kelly not forcing it. Ducks in the corner. Katie Fiso, the freshman, had a huge game on Friday. Loses it here. Jackson keeps it in play. And Duke turns it over. Nope.
And Deja trying to disrupt this stack as Duke's trying to inbound the ball.
She's going back in jail willingly this time.
Willingly.
Obviously, no love lost, but a lot of respect, clearly, between Deja Kelly, the former Tar Heel, and these Blue Devils. Under 9 to shoot for Duke. Ashlon Jackson doesn't need any more of an opening than that. And Oregon has not come out of the locker room. 1 point since halftime. There they go, first field goal.
But Oregon, like you said, Jen, has not been able to match what Ashlon Jackson is bringing.
Delaney Thomas. Again, if you missed it earlier, no Toby Fournier today, the leading scorer for the Blue Devils, the ACC Rookie of the Year.
They look a lot more prepared to be without her in the second half.
Knocks down a couple of free throws.
Especially in this type of pressure situation where we've talked about the pressure's on Duke. Oregon has played loose, and they were loose in practice knowing that they didn't have much to lose.
Deja Kelly trying to dish to Felice. Those two leading the way for Oregon in the first half. Kelly got herself some space. What a three!
How about Deja Kelly? Duke's trying to do everything to disrupt her, and that is exactly what Oregon needed from her.
She is playing with 2 fouls. You can see she had to be careful there. Needed some help from her team defensively. Got it as they get the takeaway. Katie Fiso, the freshman, who had 8 points in her NCAA tournament debut on Friday. Off the bench here for the Ducks, as is Alexis Whitfield. Did not play on Friday night.
Look at that hedge from Jaden Donovan. Duke's been a lot better in the ball screen against Deja Kelly, but my goodness.
Is that a little quieting of the crowd for Deja Kelly after that shot? It was a big one, and then Shea just picked up foul number 3. Okay, so it wasn't a quiet. We'll give Deja her props for the celebration. 3-point play completed by Delaney Thomas, but it has been all Duke in this third quarter. Deja Kelly, and to carry so much of the load, she has left.
How do you leave her? In the mid-range.
16 points for Kelly. Richardson from the corner off. Thomas pulls down the rebound with 3 Ducks around her. Oh, you could hear that. That was Emma Cable hitting the floor.
How physical this game has felt, Jen. We really have not had a lot of free throws overall.
Duke 4 of 6 in the game from the line. Or 5 of 7, excuse me. Oregon 3 of 5 as Kelly continues.
And she is single-handedly keeping Oregon in the basketball game. I'm so impressed with this performance from Deja Kelly.
She has the last 9 points for the Ducks. 8 of 11 shooting in the game for Deja Kelly. Better watch it. Nearly at her pocket pick, but they blow the whistle because Peyton Scott is down for Oregon. The player that Kelly Graves said is one of his favorite Oregon players all time, missed all of last year with injury. Her grandfather, Terry Davidson, a lifelong Duke fan, in the stands today, watching his granddaughter here at Cameron Indoor. I mean, she led the team in overtime with 4 points, but maybe no play bigger than the charge she took on Vanderbilt star freshman Michaela Blakes that took her out of the game. So now, a little more on the shoulders of Deja Kelly, but it is a 5-point Duke advantage. Had been double digits for the Blue Devils. Kelly does leave that shot short. Ashlon Jackson has had a big quarter for the Blue Devils, and it will be a 5-point game. We've got 1 quarter to go.
This is what you want in March. And let's reiterate that, by the way. With the run that Duke went on in the third quarter, Oregon is still down just 5.
Yeah.
They're very much in this game. Deja Kelly's been phenomenal. They're going to need some other Ducks to step up.
Kelly scoring the last 9 points for Oregon in that third quarter. It had been a 10-point Duke lead after they started the quarter, outscoring Oregon 16-1 halfway through. Kelly just lost it. That Duke defense wasn't going anywhere. Gave Deja Kelly no options. Ashlon Jackson.
Need other players to step up. Ashlon Jackson, Reigan Richardson have both done that.
Oregon Ducks, one of 2 double-digit seeds remaining as we get into the second round of NCAA women's tournament action today. Nani Falatea knocks down the triple.
Cannot be at your best in the fourth quarter.
Just a 2-point advantage, though, for the Blue Devils, who have missed their last 7 shots. Jackson, the answer. Spot in the Sweet 16 on the line. Where do the Ducks go? Right inside to 6'8". Che goes to her left, gets the basket and one. Che, 2 points, 1 rebound shy of what would be her 32nd career double-double. And inching closer to 1,000 points. Who have had some bittersweet experiences on their home floor in recent years in the NCAA tournament second round. Okonowa so quick, but couldn't finish. The jump ball, I believe. Blue Devils get it. Richardson off the inbounds. How much does Deja Kelly have left? Oh, it looked like plenty until she ran into the hand of Ashlon Jackson.
Ashlon Jackson, Deja Kelly thought she had a wide open look at the rim. And Ashlon Jackson at 6 foot, able to use her size. What a play.
Kelly gets it off the inbounds, goes inside to Che. One-on-one coverage. Delaney Thomas with 2 fouls.
You got to force Che to go right. She wants to go left.
And the lefty has been dominant here. She goes right and gets the finish for Che. 9 rebounds. Her presence being felt. Lead back to 1. Delaney Thomas has that off-timed jump on her jumper. Misses on that attempt. The Ducks very much in it here as the 10 seed against the 2nd seeded Blue Devils. Deja Kelly looking for options. Was that a step? The crowd sure thought so. 7 seconds now. Deja Kelly with some decisions to make. Working on Okonowa. Up and too strong.
I thought she took one too many dribbles. She should have pulled it right after the behind the back.
Okonowa getting all the way down the floor, drawing the foul. NCAA second round. Michi Okonowa on the free throw line. Duke came out strong in the third quarter, opened up their largest lead. Che has her 32nd career double-double in the books, left it short, gets the rebound, and she is not done going to work. Still lead it by 1. Looking for back-to-back Sweet 16 appearances, these Blue Devils. Thomas is able to draw the foul.
These Oregon Ducks coming off an overtime game on Friday. They're looking for that energy wherever they can find it. Coach Freeman, Peyton Scott, the managers, the scout guys, the Oregon fans. They are here trying to fuel on their Ducks in a stadium that is pretty full of blue. And that manager right there, the son of the game, the rapper.
Okay, so we're going to call him
Harlan Taylor.
But we like to call him the scrimmage.
Yeah, I think that works.
Okay. You mentioned Kelly Graves, 10 wins as a double-digit seed in his career in the NCAA tournament, more than any other coach. Che bounced it off her own foot.
Nowhere to go.
And Che has scored the last 7 points for Oregon. 13 in the game to go along with 11 rebounds. Richardson to Donovan. Thomas through the lane and in.
Beautiful basketball from Duke, sharing the ball, attacking the paint, going right at Philly Che.
Che with 3 fouls. Deja Kelly with 3 fouls for Oregon. Che. Thomas trying to do the work defensively. Che gets the rebound and is fouled.
Very, big and different than just giving up free throws. But she's been able to get to the rim whenever she wants.
The 6'8" center, last NCAA appearance in 2022, but she didn't play that year. This is her NCAA tournament. Gets the second.
She gets to the line, maybe she makes 1 of 2. Thomas now does have 3 fouls. I still think you got to bring a double, or at least the threat of a double with Donovan.
Oregon bringing some defensive pressure here. They get the steal. Falatea. No icing on the cake, but an offensive rebound. Tiffany Bird immediately halting things to get that right with 2:14 to go in the game. Way to go, Eagle Eye Gramlich.
Well, we are up in the crow's nest.
10 on the shot clock. A wide open look inside. Atute, the freshman, can't finish. Time ticking away. Blue Devils in the lead. Duke getting to the Sweet 16 without hosting last year. Can they do it with the advantage of being the host team? The 2 seed this year stays with the Blue Devils. Shot clock was reset. Jackson having herself a game. First 6 quarters quiet, 2 of 11, but man, second half, 19 points for Jackson. You felt it was going to be a little Deja Kelly time for Oregon.
It's got to be.
Kelly on the free throw line. But some huge free throws coming here. Hits them both.
Maybe missing Toby Fournier, who's out with an illness, but the second half, different story for Duke.
Jackson leading the way, but all of the offense coming together. How about that look? Oh, how does it not go in for Okonowa? Delaney Thomas able to track down the rebound, but it is Oregon ball. So the Ducks do advance it. They have made just 1 of their last 9 from the floor. Sophia Bell is sophomore. Kelly curling off a screen. Deja Kelly pulls up short. Okonowa immediately calling the timeout, or she tried to. She was calling timeout. I think the other officials saw that. Yes. 69% free throw shooting team coming into the tournament. Boy, that's a ton of contact, and it is on Duke and Delaney Thomas.
Oh,
Deja Kelly drawing the offensive foul, and that fouls Delaney Thomas out.
Wow. And Oregon is out of timeouts.
Muhammad. They want Falatea for 3. No! Che not even in the game at the moment for Oregon. Jump ball, Duke possession. Jackson, the best free throw shooter on the Blue Devil team. They're going for the trap. They had her in the corner. They save it! But then Duke takes it right back. The Blue Devils tasting victory now. Time ticking away as Duke stares down a second consecutive Sweet 16. DeJesus, though, still on the bench.
And Oregon, no timeouts. They're just going to have to take this ball, make or miss, and go.
It's got to be a 3 now, you would think. They need points. They need them fast. Falatea has been their best 3-point threat. Deja Kelly's been tremendous all game long. She tries the 3. They had to stay composed. Oregon got it within 1 in this 4th quarter. But now, the Duke Blue Devils are moving on. Back-to-back Sweet 16 appearances for Duke.
And Duke does it again, gets to another Sweet 16, but does it at